Okay, so I assume from what you texted me that we're already live? But we're not live. Okay. Alright. Okay. Okay. I mean, if well, I'm always more open to the general stuff going on first, if we have anything to talk about, which we kind of struggle with a bit, so okay. 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 You sound excited, so I guess I'm excited. What's going on? Okay. Is he? See, I don't even know if I completely believe that, depending on the time of day. I guess it depends on the time of day. It's not like I think he's drunk, like, at you know, uh, 9 AM. Yeah, like, at 9 AM, I'm not like, "Oh, he's probably drunk or whatever," but, like, at the end of the day and it's not really Okura specifically, it's just my image of the drinking culture in Japan. If it's the end of the day, it's hard to believe he's not a little bit tipsy at least. Mhm, mhm, okay. Okay. Yeah. I know Jake. Okay. Oh, now that we have multiple contact groups. I'm pretty sure I told you that it was, yeah. Uh-huh. No West? Okay. Okay. I don't know what that is, so I I don't know what it is. I don't even know how to spell it to look it up, so you'd have to tell me, I don't know. Yeah, this recipe some of these recipes I'm initially seeing involve yeast, and okonomiyaki is more like a okonomiyaki, like, I feel like it's more of a mix between omelet and a pancake. Yeah. Um, yeah. Maybe it's different maybe, like, it's different in Japan? Um, I am getting a lot of okra here at the moment. Uh-huh. Mhm. 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 So you got dragged into a PL drama, is that it? Mm. Probably. I'm sorry. Um, I haven't done anything except for working and sleeping, lots of sleeping. I don't know why I'm so tired constantly these days, so yeah. So, so something not fandom related, since I haven't been looking at any fandom stuff when I've just mostly been sleeping, unfortunately. And so it's really weird, right? Like my knee was really hurting because I'm old. Um, and it was hurting all day on Tuesday. Well, I'm old and fat, so it's not a good combination. So it was hurting all day on Tuesday while I was, even though it was like 2 weeks ago, I was finally doing my youngest brother's birthday dinner. And I don't know if it's because of how I was standing or whatever, but there was just like a lot of strain on my knee. And then that night, I left my room to get something before going to bed, and I hit like the side of my foot on a it twisted my knee, and it was really freaking hurt. But after that, my knee was like 90% better. So I don't know what I did to it. It was really weird because it was just like a lot of pain, and then, like the best my knee has been in like the last 2 or 3 days. So that was strange. Um, the only catch up thing I feel like I really, you know, sorry. Okay. Hey. Okay. Go on. Okay, so he's in Naniwa. Uh-huh. Okay. Uh, it sounds cute. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Isn't that how it usually goes? Oh, I think not for the live action, but I think I saw that My Happy Marriage was getting a second season of the anime. So we should have that to look forward to at some point. Um, sure. You don't have to ask permission. You can just go with whatever feels natural. Just go with the flow. I just feel like there's not a lot to talk. I feel like there's not a lot to talk about with this episode, but also like I've not watched or really done anything recently, so I don't have a lot to contribute. I wouldn't. I did think about offering that, but going back to the I'm tired all the time, I just wanted to lay down. You have definitely seen it more recently than I did because I watched it when we were supposed to record last week, and I yeah, and then you had no power. And I thought about watching. Yeah, I thought about. I was like, oh, I should watch it again. And like, all they did was fight, and like, as much as I like fight scenes, I just want to lay down. And then I was like, maybe I should just tell Rachel we should watch the next episode so we have more to talk about. I was like, I just want to lay that down. So that's what I did. And oh, that it wasn't that long. It was mostly fighting. Okay. Uh, Ranma. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure either. It's really weird because, like, once again, in the anime, they showed up at the end of this arc. They didn't really participate in the fighting, so it's kind of weird that you in the anime Yusuke and Kuwabara could handle the fights by themselves, with the only real problem being the person at the end that they haven't fought yet. That now I'm blanking on his name. Um, Sorry. Um, but then all of a sudden they're like, and I assume it's just because they wanted cooler fight scenes. But Yoko Kurama and the Black Dragon thing with Hiei don't come up until Hiei don't come up until the Dark Tournament. So I'm like, people that were easily defeated before are now no. This is definitely not the Dark Tournament. Um, I think they wanted I think they just wanted videos than what was in the original right now. And so they showed their hand for stuff that you're not supposed to find out earlier. Which I mean, I guess like if you kind of already know they have those powers, like it's fine. But also for anybody that might just be watching this, I'm like, why not just hold off on it until the dark tournament? Why not just show that they're really strong by being able to treat these fights like they're nothing? Because it is a little frustrating to me the first time you see Kurama fight, in the anime, like his fight lasts like 10 minutes tops. It was like he gets a little bit hurt, but he definitely could have not been hurt if he had been paying a little bit more attention. Um, but it was almost nothing for him. And then Hiei's fight was basically nothing for him. And so to immediately just have them sit there and struggle, like it's a little bit weird. I was also infuriated with Kuwabara because I'm like, you have the spirit sword. You have the spirit sword. Where is your sword? Why are you what? Why are you not pulling out your stupid freaking sword right now? Why are you just relying on whatever you have lying around? Like, even though Kuwabara will run when appropriate, like he would have been more likely to stand there, like even if he's like standing there, legs shaking with his sword out in front of him, like barely able to move, he would be like standing guard telling the girls to get out of there. Like, why is he running after them? And yeah. I feel like they did a little bit of a disservice to Kuwabara as well. Like, he could do a lot more. I don't know why they were having him be that way. It was a little frustrating. As with many things. Um, no. I mean, it's always possible they could end up not doing another season. Like that's always a possibility, which might be why they wanted to throw out all the cool fight scenes now, just in case. But this definitely is not a replacement in any way. I think for the Dark Tournament, because the Dark Tournament is a tournament. Like there's groups of people and they're fighting each other like one at a time. It's in a arena. There's a whole thing to it. So this is definitely closer to what it actually was in the original, but not quite the tournament itself. Though Goro's character I think does run the Dark Tournament if I remember correctly. So um, uh-huh. 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 Yeah, I think that to an American audience at least. I mean, I'm not saying an American audience was necessarily their goal. I assume that the Japanese audience is the main goal, though I don't really know. But to an American audience at least, I think that what actually happens between that character and Yusuke in the original manga and anime would not fly in America today. It was so they originally think that the character is a girl. They originally think the character is a girl, and Yusuke figures out it's a boy by copying a sort of veal. And what? So yeah, I'm here. This cool bar is like, how can you hit a girl like that? It's like it's not a girl. How would you know? I felt it. And then there's, like, a slow down motion and, yeah. So, that I would say that not just the inappropriate touching would be the problem, but the saying that a female presenting character isn't a girl, I think would not fly right now. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, in the original, he actually sees a picture of her because he's a little resistant because they are having to do this almost right after the previous arc, and so he's a little resistant to go out and do this whole thing almost immediately. And then he sees a picture of him and her and gets all heart eyes and is immediately like all gung ho about it. So yeah, you poor Keiko, almost completely forgotten for Yukina. Um, mhm. Oh, mhm. I was just gonna say real quick before you get into other. Yeah. You because you had asked about what had happened with Kurama, and I am not 100% certain because part of it looks like he hesitated, but they also just indicate that he ran out of as much spiritual power as he had to originally transform. So it may or may not have to do with hesitation. It could just be the lack of power that he doesn't have enough stored up to make that transformation for very long. But one of the things that is a little bit weird is that usually when you, if I remember correctly, because I haven't watched. I haven't watched the Dark Tournament since we got out of college together, and so it's been a while. Yeah, so it's been a while, and so I could be remembering wrong, but if I remember correctly, when Kurama changes to the more into like his demon form, his personality changes too. And in this, it felt like he mostly had the same personality, just with a slightly new face. So I don't really know what's up with that, but that would just be the only criticism I personality wise is I think that he becomes like a little bit crueler if I remember right, and definitely a lot even more stoic than before. Like like it felt like yeah, it felt well. I wouldn't necessarily say that he's not suddenly soft spoken, but like it's that slightly more evil soft spoken, right? And as I said, it sort of felt like I couldn't tell if he was running, if it was just that he was running out of energy, that he was having a hard time holding it, or if he was starting to feel bad for the guy. But Kurama in that form would not feel bad for that guy at all while he's fighting him. So, um, yeah, that was the only other thing that I really had to say for that one. Okay, you wanted to change? uh Yeah, well, it's because they were doing all the other fights, and as I said, like with this, it was mostly Sasuke and Kuwabara, so there was plenty of time. But since they got rid of the original fights that they did, I think in the anime with Kurama and Hiei, they wanted to bring them into fighting here. For obvious reasons, they're there from the beginning, unlike the original. And so, since all the fighting tends to be more one-on-one, and you need Yusuke to mainly play out with the primary, you know, yeah, he's gonna have his big boss battle mostly, um, in the next episode, yeah. So, uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, the group formerly known as Okay, okay. Jerry is a delinquent? He always came off a little bit more like a goody two-shoes to me, despite the rat persona. Maybe I just haven't watched enough, but I heard "you remember" and then a sound and then nothing. Huh? I heard something about in the now this time. I mean, yeah, I remember in the now. Okay. Do you wanna come in and out of Discord? Okay, I think I can hear you. Yeah. Well, I can hear you at the moment, so alright. Well, I keep, like, trying to look up stuff with Juri and Shori, and I just keep getting stuff for, Revolutionary Girl Utina instead. Sorry, go on. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. He is 39. Oh, no, it says he's 39 now. I think he turns 40 in October. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it depends on with the new restructuring if the new agency is just for the people that debuted, if he's technically under another agency under the same company. I don't I don't know because I haven't followed and understood enough with all the restructuring stuff. Okay, well this Tokyo Hive article says Toma Ikuta's independence from longtime talent agency. So maybe he's left. Yeah. I mean, it looks like it doesn't say anything about him joining anyone else, so I'm not sure if he's completely independent or if he is under another agency, but yeah. So this is I think this was near the end of last year. So I mean, he might be even if this article doesn't say because this was from November of last year. He could have joined someone else by now, but I don't see anything specifying that. Uh huh. Tom, yeah, Toma's wife is. Isn't that the girl that was in the drama that he was in with Okura or not Okura? Yeah, Ouroboros. Yeah, that I was going for. Good, thank you. Okay. Okay. Uh huh. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and as I said, I when it was announced, it was that they had met on Ouroboros. So yeah, at least I'm pretty sure it said they met. There was some reference to Ouroboros, and I'm pretty sure they said they met there. But I could be remembering that incorrectly. I don't know. Okay, Nakamaru has a YouTube channel. Why does Nakamaru have his own YouTube channel? Why not just make your own? Someone needs to tell him it's not that hard to make your own YouTube channel. Okay. Well, they might not normally. I would have had the image of Okura gaming the most, mostly just because he's the youngest. Okay. Mhm. Well, they need someone to replace Tokyo eventually, right? Okay. Uh-huh. Poor Taiga. I need to actually watch one of their concerts. No, any of the concerts that are on YouTube have all been older concerts, and they were put out during the pandemic, and I kept thinking they'd take them down, but they haven't taken them down yet. So, Arashi has 2 up, Kisumai has 1 up. I think V6 has 2 up, I think, and that's all the ones that I'm aware of at the moment. I mean, I could be missing something, but I've searched Six Stone stuff. I've searched Stone stuff enough. I feel like I would have run across it if they had had anything up. Like they have some stuff from concerts, like individual performances. They have, but not like a full concert. Yes, I believe that's the answer to that. Yes. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Oh no! How terrible. Mhm. We can't talk about what got him there, but Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh, okay. Okay. Mhm. Well, it sounds like he doesn't get out much, so it's, Jesse's probably lucky for even that much, right? Because I mean, you can never take interviews. I feel like too seriously. But if I remember correctly, at least in that one A studio, we watched like um uh Pipey just seemed happy to know that Tama had friends. That seems to be that seems to be a question. Like it might not happen. And apparently, sometimes the answer is no. But for Tama, that does seem to just barely be true. Um, was Kato in another play with his dad? There's new pictures on Instagram of him in a play with somebody, and I thought it kind of looked like his dad. But I could be wrong. Well, I mean, it was, maybe. I mean, I don't remember what it was called, so, um, okay, I think that's what it was. So maybe they're just doing it. I mean, it was still a couple years ago, and I only vaguely remember seeing an article about it, but that vaguely sounds like the play he was supposed to be in when he first came back, so maybe they are just doing it again. Right? Mhm. Okay. Right. Into right. Right. Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mhm. Yeah. No. But so the translation says Boys Over Flowers season 2. But it looks like the direct reading, it is just Hanedon next season, which next season could just refer to, like, a period of time, like, it's not season. It might not even be referring to, like, a season like a show season. It could be like, you know, uh Uh-huh. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Where there were a lot of commoners. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Right. Uh-huh. Right. Uh-huh. Mhm. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, that's a great sign. Whenever I go back and watch Hanazad, I'm also always surprised about how much happens in one episode. Because sometimes you get to a point you're like, "Oh, this is the end of the episode." No, it's still going. They're still like they shove like 3 episodes worth of stuff in one episode somehow. Okay. That seems kind of random, but alright. Yeah, I bet it would. Um, right. Uh-huh. The group formerly known as the Okay. 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 Um, I think the only other thing, I guess, is there anything that you sent me online that you want to tell me about because I might not have actually looked at it? You haven't been sending that much, but also, like uh-huh. Yeah, I did get that you were annoyed with you, though. Yeah, a little. I'm just annoyed with you know in general, so whenever I see his face, I'm annoyed. So, okay. This is MJ? Mhm. Uh, right. Yeah. I think I vaguely remember that, but I couldn't for some reason, I think my mind thought that it was part of a VS episode, but it might have been that. Mhm. I feel like this was after we weren't on Tumblr so much. I feel like this was between the times that Tumblr completely died and we weren't on it as much anyways, so I don't think it was something from Tumblr. It was either a segment that we where we just watched that segment, or it was, a part of something else. I just but I do vaguely remember that, and I also vaguely remember Show being on Show. And there was a moment where, like, someone in the staff mentioned the show pertaining to the show and not, like, one of their names. And then Show from King and Prince responded thinking he was about them. And Show was like, I've never his name all my life and I've never gotten that confused before. Or something along those lines. It's been a while. But I at least vaguely remember that. That was pretty good. Yeah. I guess that's all we have. Okay. Okay. I was just trying to open it up if there was anything else that you remembered that you would want to just talk about here. So I guess I guess that's enough babbling for today. I at least got to talk less today, so that's exciting for me. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Because normally I spend a lot of time talking about the series and comparing stuff, but they're just like it was the fighting. The fighting was fine. I have sort of mixed emotions about them bringing stuff that should be later on to the forefront here. Um, and I feel like for me that likes action, it wouldn't. I don't really have like normally I wouldn't have a problem with the length of the fighting. Like if you think these fights, if you think these fights were too long, if you think these fights were too long, if they do another season with the Dark Tournament, you're gonna be really bored all season long. It will not be the season for you. But uh huh. Okay. Um. Whenever things go, apparently we're switching the days to Thursday. Not that it really matters because I don't think anybody's actually watching this yet. Fingers crossed on eventually one day, maybe. If you do happen to watch this, please leave a comment telling us how dumb we are, or if there's anything that you recommend